It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, folks, and that can only mean one thing, that the Protect You podcast is indeed back. Welcome on back in, folks. Hope you all had a happy Easter weekend. And before we dive into this episode, I'd like to say that we are sponsored today by Game One. Looking to elevate your game? At Game One, we come alongside your team to provide custom uniforms, apparel, and equipment built for performance and delivered with unmatched service. Plus, our online team and fan stores make it easy for athletes and parents to get custom gear online anywhere. Visit game-1.com today to learn more, because your team deserves the best. Thank you so much to Game One for sponsoring today's episode. And as always, I am Jake Wilson, joined alongside Jay Mickens. Jay, it's fresh to see that. It's great to see that the sponsorships are starting to come in because of the faith and the partnerships that are going to be created here through Protection United.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. To have our very first, title sponsor, it's great. Game One, we've been working this deal for a few months now, and I'm just excited. I mean, you talk about a perfect fit from the standpoint of them customizing all their deals, from the custom helmets to the proper fittings to the game day swag gear, which I'm super excited. And I know all of our guys here at the Protect You crew is going to love to be able to go online and just get their towels and their gloves and their cleats and their drip, like just all the things. But, this is something that, we've worked very hard for, right, Jake? We have tried these things with other podcasts, and now that we're like, you know what, we got our own thing and we're going to do it right. So once again, big shout out to Game One, and I'm excited for this new partnership that we have with them.
Yes, brick by brick, piece by piece, we've been building this thing up, and we do greatly
appreciate. Got brick on the wall.
Yeah, I like it. Of course, because we do greatly appreciate the opportunity here for Game One. Thank you again for putting your faith in us, and likewise, we hope to pay it off by showing y'all as much love as possible. But we move now over into breaking news that happened over last week, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into this going into the future here, because we got a jam-packed episode today. But the big news that was coming out of the weekend last week was that on Friday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order in which they hope to rein in and more federally regulate a lot of things that have been going on inside of college sports, more specifically with college football. But they do plan on also eliminating some of the wishy-washy subjects that have been going on in the NIL sphere.
Yeah, no, exactly, Jake. And, I'm ready for this thing to grow legs, right? So that way we can continue to talk about this as it goes. I can't wait for us to have a deeper conversation too, because I actually understand both sides of the table, right? I'm reading already the initial arguments and people for it, people against it. However, there's one law in here, Jake, and this was directly from the White House, right? So there's your source that we were trying to figure out pre-show. It says that along with all the other things, the one thing that I do 1000% agree with is the eliminating of the shady street agents. President Trump is trying to get rid of, and I know Nick Saban, Urban Meyer Company, when they were there, they were talking about that. That was one of the things that they had on their agenda. So no more uncle and mom and play uncles and all the things. This now is going to be set up to where you have to be a licensed agent. You have to be an agent that is actually bonded and certified in every state where a university is. I'm telling you, like, that one piece is going to change the game, because now you can't have these trainers and you can't have these other recruiters and you can't have coaches, et cetera, trying to play, an agent, right? And thinking that they can just go do it, right? Or your uncle, because he ran a business 30 years ago, I know how to negotiate a deal, and messing up a lot for these athletes, good and bad, right? However, I'm so happy and so proud of what we've been doing here. And I know that Madison Lamb and myself have been working our asses off for the past month. Dude, I've had to do fingerprints. I've had to do FBI background checks. Of course, the surety bond insurance, had to do all the deep diving, checking my credit score. I'm telling you, it's a lot that goes into these licenses, Jake. And I'm pumped. I'm just going to be honest with you, because, we're having to fight against some of these guys. A lot of these guys are pumping up and doing lip service and all the things. But the fact that we're able to say that here at Protection United, we are doing things the right way. And guess what? We were already prepared for this without even knowing that this was going to come out, right? Not even knowing that these universities were going to be forced to actually ask that initial question, right? I'm on the phone with the general manager at Florida State just this past weekend. The first thing he asked me was, what's your license number in the state of Florida? He didn't even want to go past the first introduction sentence without verifying who I am. And that led to this conversation, right? And so him even knowing what's in this and talking about it and basically telling me, I am going to be excited when I'm only having to deal with guys like you going forward, and I can't wait to August 1st. So.
Yes, and like we said, we will dive a little bit deeper into this discussion going into next week because there are a lot of other things that are going to be put forward in this executive order. Things like 5 years of play and only allowing one transfer is also one of the proposals that was in this. But to build just a little bit further on your point, Jay, before we move on, I do like that this really separates the professionals from the amateurs, of all of those people that say that they know how to do things as opposed to the people in the companies that really know how to build these connections and how to do things above the table instead of trying to skim things off the top, trying to get those improper benefits that the NCAA has been so vehemently against since the very beginning. Even back when we were talking about the debate between amateurism and professionalism in college sports, now we start to see that we do need a little bit of professional insight, but more so from the people that are negotiating and doing these brand deals.
Right, 100%, Jake. And, look, I'm for, setting this up like the NFL salary cap. And I think this is what is getting, to it to where everything is going to be, there's a low and there's a high, but there's going to be, somewhat of a cap. It's going to be based off each individual position as it should be. But most importantly, you're going to have the right people at the table, right? And that is the general managers at these said universities and a licensed, certified agent. And for me, hey, all I can say is for the rest that are out there, good luck. Because I'm just telling you now, your credit score better be damn near perfect. And your background check better come back clean. That's all I can say. Because they will deny you and they will keep that money that you got to pay just to fill out the application. And I'm not talking about $20, $30. Some of these were $500. Like, you're putting that on the line and you're not getting that back, even if you get denied, right? So just, putting it out there, you better be ready for the ones that want to stay in this game.
Yes, but all in due time, we will dive into that topic further next week. But just to give you all a taste of what that talk is going to be like here from the Protect You perspective at the very least. And with that, now we move over to a little bit more of the on-the-field activities. We've talked about representing the athletes, and that's exactly what we do. But when those athletes show off and they do a lot of very special things, we got to highlight that.
We got to highlight that, huh, Jay?
We got to highlight that, and I think we have the perfect segment for that, Jay.
We do.
With, once again, another edition of Ball and Get the Call. It's been making a steady comeback here as we move deeper into spring practices for a lot of schools that continue to hype up their guys, some of the guys that may have gotten some postseason recognition with their all-conference teams. I think one of those guys that was out there and got that type of recognition is our guy, Nick Henry out of UTEP. He was an all-conference freshman player for the special teams out there with the Miners, and now he's showing off a little bit of work of what he might be capable of on the offensive end. As Chase, you brought this clip to our attention, and we're good to show it right here because, my goodness, Jay, look at this out of the wide receiver spot.
Oh, yeah.
Turn and gone. Blistering speed down the sideline. This is, we talk about guys making the move from the special teamer to the guy that's going to be getting those really rock solid reps with the offense, whether that's first team or second team on the rotation. This is how you do it, by showing up and showing out during these reps.
Yeah, but the separation is what really got me. Granted, I think the DB gave up at some point, but but you see that he knew that, man, I might be 4 yards ahead of you right now, but I ain't catching you. And I'm not shocked, right? Why he was, all conference from, the punt kickoff return, deal, because he's so elusive with the football in his hands. And, now, Chase and I had a good talk with him. Chase King, our director of player development, for the newbies watching the pod. You'll get to meet Chase, guys, here in a little bit. But getting to talk to Nick, right, when Chase and I were heading up to Baylor University last week, and getting to hear that he's running with the twos and he's really pushing, that other slot receiver for that starting spot. But he's in the rotation, right? With that offensive set, with them running doubles 2x2 for Our guys that don't know what that means, you got 2 outside receivers, 2 slot receivers, and he's backing up one of those slots. So in turn, you're going to have him being in that rotation. And, I'll be shocked if UTEP doesn't create some opportunities for our guy, Nick, to get the football in his hands and go be special like what we just saw in this clip.
Yes, already highlighting that tremendous upside that has the coaches not only invested in him, but wanting him to stay there with that UTEP program. And so congrats, Nick, for getting out there and showing off what you really got. And another group of guys that definitely showed off what they had at the high school level were the Mustangs of North Shore, where they got out there and they played a strong defensive game against Duncanville in the state championship and ended up coming away with the hardware. And a couple members of the Protect You crew were a part of that team. And so we're going to start rolling the pictures here of the state championship banquet that North Shore had for our guys, and who else but Brandon Abear was front and center, showing a little love to mom and pops as well, getting them up on stage while he accepts his awards. And then, there it is, the nice photo shoot for the East Side Dynasty that is North Shore.
Well, and I think you bypassed the most important part. Look at that boy clean. The pocket square, the tie, got the North Shore colors.
Tie.
And we're talking about, guys, the North Shore High School here, one of the prominent, most dominant schools here in the state of Texas, and as well as always nationally ranked. And once again, they're just adding to that trophy case. Geez, what they got, like 10, 15 state championships, it seems like. I don't know. But anyway, love seeing Brandon. My dog was clean.
Oh, yeah,
he was clean. He was clean, man. And what an honor. Every high school in the nation has a football banquet at the end of the year, but not like how North Shore does it, because they got to wait so late in the year because they got to wait for their custom rings and the other championship gear that they get. Takes time, Jake, which is why they just had their banquet in the end of March,
early April.
Like, was it last week?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So everybody else had their banquet in December before Christmas.
North Shore said, we know we're bringing that trophy back to Houston.
Yeah.
So why not hold the banquet right now?
Yeah. Let's just schedule it right before Easter. Let's just go ahead and do that.
Yes. And Brandon was not the only Protect You crew member that was out there looking fresh as North Shore celebrated their state championship, as Tony Guillory was also out there, and there he is repping that 6A championship trophy. And I like the chain too.
I did. Well, he was defensive MVP, so you got to come clean.
Oh,
you got to come clean. But yeah, look at that. Love his drip, got his number, the ice on his neck. Once again, all red suit. Now, Jake, I don't know if I would wear an all red suit, but I like what my guys rocking. It's kind of like when you see it's kind of like when you see that Annihilator green Cadillac rolling down the street with the spinning rims.
Yes.
I would never buy that for me. However, when I see it go by, I'm looking at it and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of clean.
And I like too, like the white undershirt and then the icy whites too.
Yeah,
it really just brings all of that together.
It does. And then like no socks on, right? Because that's the new look.
Yeah,
that's the new look, man. These kids got a different kind of drip, and I like where you can see the white shirt. See like the little edge of the sleeve sliding out right underneath the suit coat. That's custom.
Yes,
I can see a new NIL deal for him when he's in college. Custom suit. We already got a guy. We got a guy for Justin Williams. I think we got to introduce him to Tony. He's going to like the way Tony can lay out and make his suits look clean.
That's a really clean looking fit. He makes that look really good. And I think in recognition of not only his fit and how he composes himself off the field, but in recognition of his stellar effort on the field, Dave Campbell's and our guy Greg Powers evaluated Tony as a future and up and coming 3-star talent.
Yes, sir.
State champion, a defensive MVP. Plus, he's already got those offers on the table. And so we appreciate Greg for this evaluation of one of the newest members of the Protect You crew.
Well, look, and I'm just going to say, Jake, I love the fact that your buddy Greg, listens to you, man. Like at the end of the day, we talk about it all the time. Guys, just go do your thing on the field. And then Jake Wilson's going to call his buddy Greg Powers. If you're a Texas athlete, right? If you're an athlete in another state, connect Jake. He going to make friends. Everybody loves Jake. And they're going to be like, hey, this is Jake from State Farm. No, this is Jake from Protection United. And then they're going to go and grade you. And this is what happens. You've called Greg 3 or 4 times. You've gotten our guys instantly evaluated, looked at, and those stars are given.
Yes, that they are. It's, again, fantastic connection that we've been able to make with Dave Campbell's. One of the biggest, if not the firm authority for
Yeah.
Texas high school football in the state of Texas. And
agree.
so we're very fortunate, Greg, that you've been able to make those connections for
Appreciate
us,
it, big dog.
and that you've been able to evaluate so many great members of the Protect You crew. I think back to the Colemans.
Yep.
Kingston Byer was
Yep.
also evaluated by him
Yep.
recently, and now Tony Guillory.
And then here's the deal, right? Both of those young men, they got a whole nother year of high school. They could run it back. They could run it back, Jake.
Yep.
That's how dominant. And I will say, you know, in all honesty, man, when you got kids that are starting as sophomores and juniors for North Shore High School, you're a dude. Because that school has so much talent that they could literally just roll out 22 seniors every year. And you have to wait until your senior year to start. Just shows how dominant our guys are that we rep over at the crew. And according to our guy, Chase, a.k.a. Mel Copter here, we might have some more Mustangs coming and joining the crew. I mean, Chase has been just spending the night outside of North Shore High School being like, hey, you guys need representation? You guys want to help with recruiting? Because I just see all these capture league forms come through, and it's like North Shore, North Shore, North Shore. So
Hey,
I don't know, man.
it's
We'll
a worthwhile investment because they got some dudes out there playing ball at North Shore. If the state championships weren't enough to solidify that, then I think some of the upcoming members of the Protect You crew might be the real highlights that you're looking for.
All right, hey.
But
it is.
once again, all in due time, just a little bit farther down the road here, as we move now over to an interview, Jay, that you and I were very excited to have, because this is one of those interesting perspectives that we talked about last week of not everybody's journey is going to be the exact same. Some people, they favor going after the big schools. They like the name recognition of those state institutions. But then you get guys like the person we're about to interview here, Itty Henry, who favors loyalty and favors the connections that he's been able to make during his time at Abilene Christian. And as you'll find out throughout the course of this interview, his faith in them has been well rewarded for the titles and the acumen that he has built up on the field. So, folks, welcome on into another exclusive interview here on the Protect You podcast. We're taking it out to Abilene Christian, where we go and visit our guy, Itty Henry. Itty, thank you so much for taking this opportunity to sit down and talk about your final season of collegiate ball.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, my guy, man. So happy to have you on, brother. You know, been a fun mini journey, right? I should say, man. But you know, so thankful, bro, that you took time. I know how busy your schedule is.
Sir, thank y'all. For sure.
Say, and it's a busy schedule at that too, because you picked up a lot of recognition in your time with the Wildcat program, and now going into this final season that you picked up here, you get recognized as one of the captains of this ACU offense. When you hear that and you look at your body of work and everything that you put in to get to this point, what is that feeling to you to see that C on your chest and get that type of recognition in your captain spot?
You know, I mean, I've dreamed of a moment like this. And it's really an honor to be, you know, leader of my teammates, my friends that I really just get to be around all day and have fun with them. And they look up to me. I also look up to them, of course. But it's also an honor just to be, you know, part of the team and be a captain and play with my friends.
Yeah, and like talk to us about that too, man. Like, how did you find out? You know, like was there like a big presentation about the captains, or did the coaches just kind of roll it out and announce it?
I mean, yeah, I've been here for 2 years. It'll be my third year here. So it's like, and I've done some good things here. So, I mean, coaches have been just telling me that like I'll be a captain and, you know, like, I need to step up because the guys from last year, you know, they're gone. So I need to step up and, you know, get in that role. So.
I'm saying, how good does it feel too, from your perspective, to be that trustworthy of an option to where those experienced players move on to wherever it is that they may be at, but then your coaches turn to you and are like, hey, you're going to be the one that steps up for us. We trust that you will be the one to fill in those gaps. How good does that feel to get that type of recognition from the coaching staff?
I mean, it feels amazing. Like for them to count on me to be in that role, like it means the world to me. And I know that I'm going to do great things, and I know that I'm going to do whatever they need me to do, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
I like that, brother. And going into, you know, great things, right? Spring ball, we're here, right? We're starting, man. I mean, I know it's early. I know We got about another month, I would say, left of it. But on the initial front, right? Getting to see current teammates that are returning, but also getting to see some new teammates come in as well. How has the interaction been going, and how have the first couple of days of spring ball been?
They've been great. I mean, leading up from some winter workouts, I think we've really bonded as a team. So going into spring ball, we already have like that chemistry. It's not all the way there, but we have a little bit of chemistry, which is good. Lots of good competition. So I'm really excited for what's coming forward.
I like that, and we talk about competition too, bro. I know we got a competition. Starting at the QB1 spot, right? Another fellow Protect You crew member, right? And Tucker Parks coming in, man. How's Tucker been looking and fitting in to your team?
He's looking pretty good. Yesterday we had practice. He threw me a touchdown, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. Always good competition in the quarterback room.
No, that's great, man. And hopefully you can get us that clip. We would love to show it on the pod. That touchdown catch. You get that sent over to us so we can put that on ball and get the call, right? And kind of show what the future, holds, in store.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, how do you feel about this upcoming season and what's expectations?
We build our team off of character, discipline, and toughness. So I mean, moving forward, we have that stuff. We just need to come together more as a team. But we also have more guys coming in the summer, so I don't know what that looks like yet, but I think it'll be great. I think we'll have a great season.
All right. And then maybe sort of going off of those expectations, what are some of the things that you're really personally looking forward to with this being obviously your last ride? Everyone talks about wanting to leave a legacy and leave a lasting impression on the school that they represented and the name that they represent across their chest. But what are some of the things that you personally, Itty, are really looking forward to with this being your last ride?
Well, this being my last ride, I really just want to leave an impact, on younger guys that, may look up to me or look up to other people, but I just want to, make an impact on them, show them that anybody can really do it, and that if you just have a great mindset, push forward, that you will accomplish great things.
Yeah. And look, we all know Abilene's a small town. I've been to Abilene, right?
Yeah.
I've been once, and it kind of snuck up on me. But then when I saw the facilities, I'm like, wow, man, you guys got facilities of a P4, like school, in my opinion, right? I mean, just of how beautiful the football stadium is and the layout and just everything else. But talk to us a little bit more about Abilene, like just the city. Like, what do y'all do to go have fun in such a small, town community?
I mean, we'll go out to eat. We'll go out and golf. Like golfing is like the most thing we do. But I mean, there's nothing really to do. But I mean, if we ever want to go bond together, we'll just have a big golf type tournament thing. But
okay, no, and so golf is so you pretty good at golf?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I'm all right. I can I'll have some good shots, but no, I'm not really.
So in other words, if the PGA comes calling and the NFL comes calling, we're going to the league.
Yeah, for sure. Leave that PGA over there.
And speaking of the league, man, I mean, obviously every kid's dream, right? From the moment you start playing football to, getting up to the level you are where you're at, your last year of being able to play college football, that dream, right, has always been to get to the NFL. I mean, just what scouts have already started to talk to me and tell me about you is that, you have everything, right, that an NFL team will be looking for from the tight end position. But what's your thoughts? What's your goals? And is that your dream, right, to continue to play football?
Yes, sir. That's my dream, and I really want to accomplish that. I'm here for it. I want it. I want it all. And I mean, if things don't work out, it's fine. But at least I did what I could. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I do commend you on that too, bro, because your skill set always warrants. If you wanted to go hit the portal, right? If you hit it, we all know that there would have been schools that would have been love to jump all over you, right? And be a part of getting you, just because that's just the business of it now, right? You produce, I mean, that's how it is. Like,
Yeah.
before, those P4 schools are always, they're like vultures, right? I want to say it speaks high volumes, bro, that you didn't even want to entertain that, right? You were like, I'm here. They shown me love. Speak on that, Edie, because we have a lot of other athletes that we represent that are at, group of 5 schools. They're at, other FCS schools, right? Speak on the fact of what loyalty means to you and ultimately why you decided to not even entertain, going somewhere else.
I just think like I built something here that like I'll cherish forever. Like here, I got baptized here.
Oh, nice.
Like I've made great friendships that'll last forever here. I love our coaching staff. Like it's just like a big family. So it's just hard to leave that, and just go somewhere else and kind of rebuild that, but you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big thing for me, at least.
Yeah. No, bro, and I love that answer because, like I said, I mean, we have a lot, like my son included, right? He's at La Tech, started a true freshman, and now, he's coming up to his sophomore year. But their coaching staff is great, and they've been great to my son. So, like I asked that question for me as a dad, right? Like what's best, and you're right. You never know if that grass is greener on the other side. So definitely appreciate you allowing us to ask that tough question. A lot of people out there would love to know.
That's right.
Say absolutely, man. Thank you again for taking not only the opportunity to join us here on the Protect You podcast, but obviously to lend a little bit of insight as to the decision-making process, where it does seem like loyalty is a very much dying trait, where it's guys will go and they'll chase those dollar signs, but you prove that there are still very much guys that are loyal to their programs, loyal to their coaches, and it's very enlightening and a very bright thing to see, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, so last question before we close you out, brother. We got to talk about the schedule. What games are you looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
Our very first game, Texas Tech.
Hey, let's go, baby.
I'm more than ready for that game.
Let's go.
When I was at, I scored my first touchdown at Houston against them, and so get to run it back. So
I love that. No, I love that, brother. And we cannot wait to watch you play in that game. And we're going to be rooting. And hopefully it's a Tucker Parks or Itty Henry touchdown, catch. But hey, the way we are now is all about Itty, man. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day, man, to come on here and talk to us and give us some insight. And we look forward to having you back on here in the very near future.
Yes, sir, for sure. Appreciate y'all.
All right, y'all, and that does it for this interview with Itty Henry, and we are right back into the studio. So some great insight, I think, from the future offensive captain for Abilene Christian going into this season. I like to, Jay, that once again, you further emphasize the importance of everyone's journey is going to be different, and we can appreciate a guy that likes to favor that loyalty aspect because, like we said, loyalty gets rewarded.
No, well, and for him to get so personal with us, letting us know that he got baptized there, right? And how he, has just created, such a brotherhood with his teammates, and how those coaches, have shown him nothing but love since day one. And so, Itty's just a prime example of a young man that understands, and values, other things, right? And he's being compensated great, and he knows that he could have went out and got a whole lot more, but he forfeited that to stay where he is because of how they shown love, how they're taking care of him on the field, but as well as off the field. And, prayed about it, talked to mom and dad. Like, that's what I love about his journey. And here's the deal, is it a harder road for him to potentially get to the NFL? However, at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of cats show up to the combine, Willie Mays Hayes style, and be like, who the hell is this guy? Because he blew up, right? Measurables, right? Testing well. Those things can still help Itty get to where he wants to be. Plus, we talked about it last week. There's other professional leagues. There's other opportunities, right, that he can get to. So super excited for him. And of course, I mean, selfishly, I like the fact that him and Tucker Parks, right, 2 members of the Protect You crew. When you got the QB, right, the QB's there, and then you're throwing it to him. That makes it easy for us, Jake, when we get to watch them. And speaking of QBs, we got another one that I'm excited to talk about here.
Yes, Jay, I know you were excited, but once again, we welcome on in Chase King because, Chase, you were one of the more client-facing guys when it comes to talking with the athletes and getting their perspectives on how their journey has been going. And so we appreciate you taking the time for joining us once again, fulfilling your contractual obligation as Jay has lined out here to join us on the podcast, because these guys that we're going to be talking about here, as we make it now 11 straight weeks of mentioning new offers for Protect You crew members, are going to be the guys that will play on Saturday nights. These are going to be the guys who fill stadiums with people trying to get a glimpse of their talents and trying to get a glimpse of what they have to offer at the next level. And Jay, you teased it a little bit here, and now we'll dive straight into it, as the first member that picked up a huge offer coming out of last week is our guy, Ryder Flugents, the future gunslinger and QB1, picked up TCU as one of his first offers, his third D1 offer. And it is a big one from the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, no, man. Super pumped for our guy, Ryder. I mean, look, this dude's 29. 29. He's got 3 more years of high school football. However, TCU, right? Big shout out, by the way, to my guy, Ryan Dorchester, the general manager there. Talked to him a couple of days ago. We got a meeting at the end of this week. Talk about some other people, Jay. However, they understand and they recognize what we recognized when we first met Ryder, right, at Rivals, right? And got to see what we have got to see in computers. You can come back to the studio now, because I like seeing exciting faces. I like making Chase smile. That's not his big forte, but he's got a big smile on his face now, because Ryder's somebody that's going to excite us. I mean, this is a young man that we found out just now, right, that he has earned the starting spot. Now he has nobody in his way, right? We knew the talent was there to get there. However, as anything in life, guys, politics is always going to be involved. And let's just say the politics have eliminated themselves, because I think they felt that pressure. And I think they understood, I might need to go find me another home. And I'm looking forward to watching Ryder start a QB1 sophomore season, guys.
We get it a little bit earlier now than expected.
Exactly. I know Averie's over excited in the green room, because now there might be some social media opportunities there to really start to take over, his social media platforms, because we all know the QBs.
Yep.
They get the pretty girls and they also get all the best deals, right? And you're looking at a young man that already beats the eye test, right, Chase? 6'5", 205.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, daddy is already...
has the frame to throw it on. But I think what really stood out probably to TCU is, you may know more from the GM, but just the maturity. That's what I gained from Ryder, and just that holy trinity, that protection you trinity, but really just Ryder's maturity at his age as a freshman. So I think that probably stood out to them, getting to see him in person, see the measurables on real. And then, like I said, that maturity, and then that family glue behind him.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that, we're already, got people looking at it, like George has already reached out to me asking about him, right? Just because they're connecting the dots, seeing that he's a part of Protection United, right? And, of course, Baylor, right? We'll talk about that trip in a little bit, but I mean, that was a question that comes up because they want to recruit quarterbacks for every class, right? Absolutely. And, we have another young man, right, that we rep that are looking at for the 28 class. However, at 29, they're like, hey,
wide open.
What's up with this guy?
Yep.
What's up with Ryder? So super pumped, guys,
fired up
for him. Like this,
it's big.
I called it when we announced him. I told y'all that.
Yeah,
we're seeing it.
You did. A little bit sooner than expected.
Yes, and it looks like Burning Champion will have their guy moving forward here. And like you said, he's going to be putting out some really critical film a lot earlier than we expected here, and we expect that recruiting trail to light ablaze here with the guy Ryder Flugents. And now we move over and continue to talk about some more offers that the Protect You crew was able to pick up. And one of my favorites. I know we aren't allowed to pick favorites. You can't pick your favorite child, but man, do I love talking about Alex Fontenot, because this is a guy that gets after it each and every day he is out there on the field, and his stellar hard work has finally been recognized by one of the big D1 schools, as he was able to pick up 2 offers over last week, but the biggest one out of both of them was, of course, Pittsburgh, and the Panthers trying to get the Louisiana talent to come out there to the great Northeast. So we're very excited for that. Alex, congratulations on picking up that offer, in addition to Middle Tennessee State. little bit of a Tennessee connection there, trying to
Yeah.
keep him inside of the South. So congratulations, Alex, on picking up 2 sensational offers, because once again, this is a guy that didn't play all of his games. The team was just that dominant that they said, you know what, we're going to rest you for the entirety of the second half. You already have 6 catches for 250. We'll put you on the bench. So it's good to see that he's still getting that type of next level recognition from these big schools.
Yeah, no, exactly. Happy for Alex. And I'm also happy that you put Pitt in the Northeast. That's big for for Chase. I remember in other conversations, he's like, man, where's Pitt? It's close to New York, isn't it? It's like,
Northeast.
Northeast. There it is. There it is. Hey, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Well, Jake, could you confirm it for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
The same general area, but you got it down.
A few different states in between.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's in the Constitution, but I mean,
Don't get me started. No start. Also on to the
But we will carry on here, as we do have 2 more members of the Protect You crew that picked up some big time offers. And we'll start off and continue here with Jordan White, who picked up Wyoming.
Yeah.
The Cowboys trying to get him to go out there to the great state of Wyoming. And then, of course, Air Force also shot an offer Jordan's direction, making it 9 D1 offers now for our guy.
Man, look, I love it. I
Stacking
mean,
'em.
just the other day, yesterday, we had a Zoom. Kid straight up told me, I see all of my teammates. They're signed up, then offers come. Y'all promote them. Want that.
Yeah.
But I love this for Jordan, right? I mean, just another young man, hardest working kid. I mean, just talking to Robert Griffin III, about, him being on that RG3 takeover, right? That Select 707 organization that is competing with OT7. Games are live on NFL Network, I might add. And let's just say Jordan White's got us looking good in these 707 streets, fellas, because we brought Jordan White to RG3. And he has told me multiple times, man, this dude might be the best corner that we have on the squad. He is doing nothing but making plays. Now, we know that a lot of people don't want to go on Josh Allen, right? It's something about seeing Josh Vimmel being like, nah, I'm not going to test him. Let me go test this White kid. And George's like, yeah, good luck with that. And sometimes those opportunities come that way, right, Chase? It's all about picking your poison. But Jordan White's dominating.
Yeah.
And these schools are recognizing.
Yep. Making the most of them.
Yep.
Those opportunities.
Exactly.
Yep. And Chase, you talked about stacking offers, and one guy that has absolutely been doing that is, last but not least, Jalen Kilo, as he adds Sam Houston State to his incredible list of offers that he's been able to pick up here. Congratulations, Jalen, for once again remaining hot and continuing to stay active on the recruiting trail.
My guy, Kilo.
Yeah, we would like to see that. We'd like to see the Willis Connect continue to grow there, continue to prosper. So congratulations to the many members of the Protect You crew for picking up and continuing to remain hot as ever on the recruiting trail. We enjoy not only seeing y'all succeed, but we love talking about y'all succeeding as much as y'all have been here, as it makes, once again, 11 straight weeks of offers for the Protect You crew.
Right.
And it opens up the doors, obviously, for connections and a lot more relationships to be built with those D1 coaches and those D1 scouts. And I think more and more people are recognizing that the strengths of Protect You lie in those connections and those opportunities, the doors that Protect You can really open.
And with Willis, guys, just so y'all know, Willis, Texas, right? The same high school that DJ Lagway went to. A lot of people thought that was the only talent that came out of there, right? But then when you see a Jalen Mickens, you see a Jermaine Bishop Jr., and then you see a Jalen Kilo, right? You got a Jamal Lagway, right? Dominating there, a Caden Williams, right? You're looking at a lot of national recruits that are coming out of small Willis, Texas. Yeah. Look it up on your map, guys. It ain't in the Northeast. I promise you that. It's in the dirty South. But it's going to be like a little speck, right? A little speck right there on you there. But a lot of talent. Willis is a fast-growing area here in Texas, but a lot of talent, right, that is coming out of that area. And Jalen, just another guy that is getting a lot of offers.
Yes, and I'd like to, Jay, that you talked about the expansion of talent from the downtown Houston area. It continues to grow and it continues to prosper further and further that you get out. And one of those staples that we talked about here as one of the best talent pools in not just the Houston area, not just the state of Texas, but in the nation, is the program down there at North Shore.
Oh, we're coming back to the shoot,
We
baby.
teased just a little bit of it there with this championship banquet with our guys, Brandon and our guy, Tony.
Yeah.
But now we open the doors once more and roll out the red carpet for the newest member of the Protect You crew, and that is our guy, Michael White. Michael, welcome to the crew. Another great North Shore DB, as you can tell there, with the championship medals
Dog.
dangling and clinking and clacking along that jersey. Congratulations, Michael, on joining the Protect You crew, because we're very excited to work with you as one of the, once again, stacked members of the class of 2027 class and the stacked DB class that we continue to build up here, Chase, as I'll toss it over to you to break down what it is exactly that interested you and really fostered this connection that will take us to the next level with Michael.
Yeah, for sure. So really just love Michael's, holistic approach from the cornerback position. You're going to see his vision here and his length. Going to help him. He's going to close that space between the wide receiver. And then throughout this, we talked about Josh Island, but we're also going to have to, bring up the conversation of Michael Island. So you'll see, great coverage here, manned up, alone, no help over top, gets his eyes around. Great play here. And then you're going to see him in zone coverage. He's gonna open his hips at the apex point and then go make that play in his top third of that half. And then right here again, just these next 3 clips, there's just, like I said, Michael Island. He's step for step, glue guy. His mirror ability is just elite. And like I said, as you say, there's no separation. You're not going to get any on Michael. And that's a credit to not only his athleticism but his length. And like you're going to see it here again, this receiver just slow-footed coming out of his break. Good move by the quarterback, not throwing it, and then just I don't know what he did. Just followed it out of bounds.
Forcing that throwaway.
But again, Mikel had, like I said, holistic. Gets his hand on here, disrupts the wide receiver blocker, and then makes a big time play. Again, here you're going to see Mikel's ability to blow up this screenplay and then just spear this guy. But really, what we like about Mikel is, like I talked about, he has the athleticism, he has the measurables, but he has that dog mentality. We're talking about our guys, for the 11th straight week, stacking offers. Well, we're stacking dudes. Yeah. So we hope to keep doing that. And like I said, Mikel has all the things to be great at the next level. Has a few offers now, but we're looking to build on those through this camp season, through the summer, and then more importantly, hopefully another, championship run that we can get along with them for the fall.
That would be fun.
Yes,
it would be fun to be up in Jerry's world in Dallas, Texas, to watch all of our guys because the way you're working that North Shore connection, Chase, dude, we could end up with like 5-6 cats on the field, dog.
Absolutely. We're looking at, a few more to add.
Yeah. But like from that next level and what you're seeing, from this young man, we see how dominant he is, right? And dude, let me tell you, there have been some dudes that have played this position. I think most recently the young man is up at Ohio State. Right now, like he was the number 1 DB in the nation for like the past 3 years. He's a 2025 guy. I am drawing a blank, unfortunately. I know Jake is going to have my back here in about 30 seconds. But you play DB for North Shore. You got it. What's his?
I think you're talking Caleb Downs.
No. I'm talking about
2025.
2025. Yeah, pull up 2025. The show's going to be on, but they're going to rip me on the high school Texas.
Jay, how you to your point, this Ohio State does have a few good ones.
Yeah, but no, this is one of the biggest DBs they've gotten in their history. But you're looking at when you play DB for North Shore,
Devin Sanchez.
Thank you, Devin Sanchez. Yeah, that monster of a man, and you're looking at the next, Devin Sanchez, right? In Mikel White. But like, talk to us about. Where do you see, do you see a transition to where he's going to stay on that island? Could he also go to that safety spot collegiately?
Nah, I like him on the island right now. I think he from a physicality standpoint, he's based, it fits his skill set better on that island with, like I said, his length, his mirror ability. He just has the hips for it. And again, I think it just translates great to that next level. And then you throw in that North Shore effect of just that winning mentality. It just, it adds, more fuel to the fire for these coaches.
Absolutely. We love that. And then we do have one last picture here of Mikel, as we talked about. He was also a part of that championship.
Look at that black on black on black. Hey, blackout. I like it, man. Hey, he clean.
Yeah.
Once again,
they were dressed to
I like
to
it.
impress.
Hey,
Maybe
man,
you
hey,
dress us maybe for our events coming up.
maybe we need to start dressing like that. I did on one episode. Yeah, on the serious
From
episodes.
top.
That's true. I do remember
That's
that.
right, from the waist up. That's right, Chase. From the waist up, baby. That's right. Hey, that's how you do it. If you'd have asked me to stand up, I would have been like, no, sir. But no, man, seriously, yeah, I like it. Chase, once again, man, great job, man. You taking this player development, man. You taking the bull by the horns, brother, and it's just amazing, right? Amazing of what we're able to do at one of the most premier high schools, right? And here's the deal that's crazy too. If y'all notice that we've been getting hit up by cats out at Bishop Gorman, like, dude, another premier school that is ranked nationally every freaking year. I'm excited. I'm just excited.
I'm with you.
I just can't wait. I cannot freaking wait, guys. Of just where we continue to grow and the young men that we're getting to rep. But we always like taking care of home first.
Absolutely. And Chase, you've been taking on such a tremendous role here with the player development side of things, talking with our guys, making sure that we're getting out there and recruiting and getting those connections established with new athletes. But then also you got to experience a little bit of the road trip, the road element that we like to celebrate here at Protection United. As Chase, you and Jay both took a trip out to Waco, Texas, where the great university of Baylor is based out of. And we got a couple of deep connections and we got a lot of photos to show off here throughout y'all's trip. And I'll just toss it over to y'all to talk about how great it was to get not only another deep dive into Baylor's program, and then also to build a lot of that personal connection with the people that run the show there.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, big shout out to Coach Aranda, as well as Coach Holcomb, Coach Spavita, excuse me. I mean, that was awesome. Like they showed us nothing but love, rolled out the red carpet, Chase connecting with other coaches. Obviously Chase had some other guys there, right? Chase that used to coach.
Jalen Jones, the D end out there, coached him at UTEP. Actually, #1 rated player in UTEP history. So fun little fact there for everybody.
Love it. Of course, there's a man, Mr. DJ Lagway, along with Derek Lagway himself. Obviously Amir Chase and then Baby J right there. Computer Jesus be rolling on these pictures. Hey, run them one more time, Computer Jesus. All right, there's Chase and I kind of starting off the trip. Of course, there's Coach Aranda and myself, head man at Baylor. Obviously, Chase talking to one of the coaches.
I think we got to talk about the silos.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll come back to here to the studio, but let's kind of get this. Obviously, there's the man himself. You saw DJ for the first time, and I remember you looked through like, holy cow. Oh, I see why everybody loves this dude. He's
the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal. Of course, right there's Pops, right? My business partner, Derek Lagway, my brother, and DeBron Hampton, man. Big shout out to DeBron. Dude, look good. Jake, he started that punt return right now.
Good stuff, man.
Dude, and he's running with the twos. He made some great catches. I mean, it was phenomenal, man. And then, of course, had to take our guy to Buc-ee's. I apologize. You, Avery, y'all jumped on me. And Madison, you didn't get a picture with him in the Beaver statue. So we got to go back. Here's the deal, guys. And you come back to the studio now. Oh, wait, well, Baby J. Let's show love to Baby J. Look, he was so happy that Daddy got home, came home. Can you go back to Baby J? Okay, never mind, Computer Jesus. We're good. Let it roll. Baby J was happy that Daddy got home, and he instantly was grabbing for that. I thought he was going to just put it in his mouth. He wanted to hold it up, and he wanted to represent. I think he's ready to be a junior executive. Oh, there he is. Look at my man. I'm biased, guys, but that is the cutest little baby ever.
It's cute. I'll give you that.
Okay, come back to him, Computer Jesus. We can't make this about Baby J. Yes, Jake. The love that they showed us, right? Just first of all, there, I love what they did. They had our VIP, little passes ready for us. I thought that was a nice look, man, and just continue wanting to build a relationship, right? Like I mentioned, they're recruiting a good number of our athletes, and they wanted to continue to make that connection. I've been blessed to meet them, obviously being there with DJ for his official visit, right when he was in the transfer portal. That's when I got to make my initial, introduction, but, having Chase out there, letting Chase continue to connect, build, from his portfolio of coaches, right? And he got to add a few more, right, to that list. But all in all, Jake, it was a great trip. And let's just say that September 17th, I cannot wait for all of us to get back out there. I mean, they might not like the colors that we'll be having on. I'll be having on, right? Yeah, you guys will be neutral, right? But I gotta rep Jay. Yeah. But hey, I might have a Protection United hat.
Do a little half jersey.
Yeah. Oh, half jersey. I ain't gonna do that. Jalen will kill me with that now. But no, all in all, Jake, definitely was a great trip and it was fun, man.
And then Chase, from your perspective as well, can you break down how cool it was once again to be back on those sidelines, to be building those connections in a more intimate way with those coaches and with some of the members of the Protect You crew for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, a lot less stressful. Let's put it like that. A lot less worrying about where I got to get the next ball, what song's going up, where the down marker's got to be. But no, it's great, like you said, to see DJ, to see Jalen, just get around some of our guys and DeBron, yep, and get around guys that I haven't met before, but build those relationships not with just them, but the coaches. Being able to talk to Ed Parrish Jr., the director of player personnel there at Baylor was big. Just again, putting a face to the name. Follow people on Twitter, but it's different when you can get in person and actually shake their hand and talk ball with them and do all those things. So it was great. And from being on that side, seeing the hospitality that they showed us was legit. It wasn't, a pig with makeup on it or anything like that. It was real legit. We did after-hour tours. I don't know how happy the recruiting coordinator was, but at the end of it,
oh yeah, we got to tell this.
That was great.
So Derek literally comes and he's like, "Hey, whoa, you ain't showing them the best part." And this lady, you could tell this lady was thinking, "I'm about to clock out. Successful long day." And then all of a sudden, she was like, "Yeah, Mr. Lagway, what else do you want to see?" And so shows us the weight room, shows us the locker rooms, shows us all the facilities, where they do the nutrition and all the things. And I'm talking every time she thought she was done, he was like, wait, just one more thing. Show them this. So then we got to go in the freezer where guys go do the essentially cryo recovery. And then he made them go back and show the other locker room because they got 2 locker rooms there, one at the stadium, one in the facility. Jake. But then when he hits her with, this is probably like 9:30 now at night, something like that, or 9 o'clock. He goes, wait, one more thing. And she turned, he goes, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
It was a great way to end the night. But overall, it was a great experience.
It definitely was. And I will say the facilities they're nice, man. Top notch. Top notch. They put a lot of money into it and brand new facilities. And let's just say there's a lot of excitement. I don't know, and I talked to RG3 about this the other day, Jake, but I don't know if, there's been this much excitement since he was on campus, right? And so good things are going to be happening at Baylor. And, I think DJ, when I talked to him one-on-one, Jake, he said he's so happy. He said that the fact that he has so much freedom in this offense and that he's not in a pigeonhole box anymore, it kind of reminds him of high school, right, to where there's flexibility, option routes. He can audible at the line, change things based off of the coverage that he's seeing and not just being forced to run a play regardless of what, that defensive coverage is.
Yes. So once again, tremendous opportunity and a lot of gratitude goes out to the Baylor football program for hosting members of the Protection United staff, as well as being gracious as always to the members of the Protect You crew. Thank you once again, Chase, for joining us in this week's episode and giving a little bit of insight, not just into the athletes, but to the more personal side of things and building those connections with the great universities.
And we're going back to Baylor. We're going to go back to Bucky's. We're going to make sure Avery's like, no. We have to get him standing next to the Beaver.
We'll do it right. We'll do it right for sure.
But Beaver Nuggets. Madison's request.
But Chase, once again, thank you so much for joining us on here as we move over once again to celebrating the great birthdays of the Protect You crew members here, as a lot of birthdays happened here this first week of April. And we'll start off with April 1st and our guy Connor Kenyon, who now takes his talents over to CCSU. Congratulations and a very happy birthday to the Texas native who moves out once again to the great Northeast and moving over to Connecticut. And now we return here to the Lone Star State, and we'll keep it in the Woodlands area with 3 former John Cooper athletes, and 2 of them will be transitioning over to that Willis program that we mentioned. We'll start off with Lucas Triplett, who will be staying with the Dragons, and the big man in the middle of that defensive front gets to celebrate his happy birthday. He had his on April 3rd, and then who else but the Newman twins, the future Willis Wildcats, celebrated their twin birthdays on April 5th, and we start out here with congratulating Parker on celebrating his happy birthday.
So Parker was born first?
You know what? That's a good question. We need to figure out what the exact
Joe's gonna let me know. I got a feeling that I'll get a text message in 3, 2, 1. It'll be on my phone. Joe's gonna let me know. But I like it though. You went Parker first because PA is before PE.
Yeah, we will try to go a little alpha order here, and then we move over, of course, to, like we said, Peyton Newman also celebrated his birthday on April 5th. The 2 future Willis Wildcats got to celebrate their birthday along with the rising of Easter, which there was a very interesting timing for that one to work out. But once again, happy birthday to the many members of the Protect You crew as we welcome back in Averie Scarmardo. Averie, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, as if she has a choice.
As if I have a choice.
Right, but I like it though. For the first 90 days, I think Jake is going to just continuously thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Unnecessarily.
Of course.
It's just going to be every day that I'm on.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Eventually, he'll get contractual obligations.
Eventually, it'll become and Avery's back.
Yeah.
Like Chase, like what the transition to Chase.
Exactly.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Averie, once again, we bring you on here because you provided some great insight, and we get to close the book, as it were, on one of your ideas that you brought to the table, and that is the Protect You Bracket Challenge, where, as I'm sure many of y'all know, the national championship was last night, and the Michigan Wolverines,
they pulled
the
it
ones
off.
that pulled, a sensational game, a great run throughout this tournament, dominated a lot of opponents, and they played a great game against a really solid UConn Huskies team.
Yep.
And
Well, I mean, before we jump in, though, I got to ask one question, Jake. Averie, you've been a fan of college basketball for how long?
I don't know. I just love sports.
Okay, you
Probably,
love sports.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Teens.
all right. So if you're not ready for this one, then Jake, I'm going to throw it to you because this is an important question. Probably the most important question of anything in regards to March Madness.
okay,
Do you like the original One Shining Moment, or do you like the one that has Luther Vandross singing the One Shining Moment?
I'm a fan.
I know my answer.
I think I'm a fan of the classic just a little bit more, but I do like a little bit of Luther Vandross.
Okay, here's the deal. Now I don't want my
I think I'm a little impartial when
Okay.
it comes to that.
All right, I don't want my people to jump on me. Okay, you know I love my people. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Chase might even jump, and he ain't even the people of the people. He's like half of the
Say
people.
he'll come knocking on the cameras.
Yeah, like he's invited to the cookout, but he ain't gonna come to like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like he ain't the people of the people. Guys, it's something about the original. It's just something about it. Like I love Luther, but I love Luther singing his songs. I wish they would go back to the original.
The classic.
It's just something about it, right? They were running a deal when they were showing the original very first. It was in the Superdome. And when I first heard the One Shining Moment as a kid, I don't know who that white dude is. All I know is he sang it very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just something about that guy and his voice. It's kind of like that song, Jake, where people thought it was a black guy singing, but it was a white dude.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking
I know
about?
who you're talking about.
Right? I said, you wonder where I've been.
Oh yes, I know. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
People were, that dude showed up at Showtime with Apollo. People were like, what the hell? It's him? Yeah, that's my point, Jake.
David Barrett is the original recording artist for One Shining Moment.
Dude, I don't even know who that dude is. But why take it away from him? Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But like we said, it's a part of the theatrics, and it's what makes the March Madness so special. Is every team is trying to compete for that one shining moment.
It's true, Jake. That is true.
Each of them
That is
trying their
true.
best to etch their name in history, and Michigan does just that, making their first, I want to say one of their first Final Four appearances since the Fab Five were there. And they get to hang, and this time they get to hang that banner, and it gets to stay up there in the rafters.
Yeah. Damn, Jake. You were shooting shots last week. Now you're throwing shots at the Fab Five.
I got nothing
But
against,
you know,
I
it's
got nothing
funny,
against
though.
the Fab Five.
But it's
That
funny.
banner deserves to be up there.
I agree, because here's the deal. What they did back then is legal
It's
now.
legal now.
Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy back.
Let
I
him
think
hang
the
the-
5-5 should get
let
their
him hang the
banner
dang
back.
banner.
And University of Memphis. Derrick Rose should
Derrick
get,
Rose.
they should get
Yeah.
their banner back.
I agree with that.
Chase won't agree because he's like, I'm a Vols, man. You're from Memphis, bro. Like Memphis basketball, like Vols football. Jesus. This guy.
Everybody said that's not how it works. Well, either way, the One Shining Moment has been crowned. Our champion has been crowned as the Michigan Wolverines took home the hardware, but also our champion was crowned inside of the Protect You Bracket Challenge, as well as we'll go down the podium here Olympic style and crown our bronze, silver, and gold medalists here. And we'll start out with the bronze medal, and finishing third place was a surprise. And a guy that we didn't even mention last week as potentially making the podium is our guy, John Rittenauer, the CPA here. And shout outs to John also for helping me out with my taxes this year. Thank you, John. But congratulations on the third place finish and getting that, once again, strong jump and that big boost that came in from Michigan, just making the national championship. And because of that, you take that third place spot, John.
He does. And I'm happy for John. John also does my taxes. He's actually waiting on me to send him information on Baby J. And then, of course, my capital gains. That's why I've been dragging my feet, John. I don't want to know how much I got to pay from the sale of JSJ.
But
I'm happy for John, though.
yes, we're very
Sorry.
happy for John.
Don't make this about me. Let me make it about John. Right, Avery?
Yeah. Right. You got third. We need to celebrate
This
that.
day. And like we said, continuing to flesh out and show off a lot more of the Protect You staff here.
I agree.
John is a guy that I don't think any of the clients really necessarily know who this guy is, but he
Yeah.
provides such an invaluable piece
He
here
does.
to the behind the scenes
Well-
work that happens at Protection Unit.
Well, I will say all of our college guys know him because he's a part of setting up their company. And they send their taxes to him. So congratulations to John the Bronze Rittenhour.
Yes, congratulations to that on the third place finish. And now we move over to the silver medal spot as our guy, Computer Jesus.
Oh, man. Dude, let me tell you about Computer Jesus. This dude on Easter sends me a text message and goes, "Happy Easter. He has risen, as well as my brackets." And I'm like, what? He's like, dude, go look at my brackets. I got a chance to win this thing. If UConn would have beat Michigan, do you know Computer Jesus would be in first? But he would have won the whole daggum thing.
Yeah,
We can't even show his face.
it's sensational. We had him as a part of that panel.
He
and,
was.
And so we were like, Computer Jesus, there's a shot here at not only finishing within this top five, but then
Yeah.
also you still have a shot at winning the whole thing. And didn't ultimately end up working out, but still, silver medal is a very admirable
agree.
spot considering
Yeah.
just how many people
It-
were a part of this thing.
I agree. And Avery, he also had a shot to show his face, but he declined to turn his camera on. What's up with that, girl?
It fits the narrative. It fits the narrative, not showing his face. He's kind of behind the scenes a lot. So I feel like it worked well. So keep the secret.
Okay, so you like that.
I did like it.
But I
thought it
mean,
was-
so when you first saw his face coming in, were you just like in awe?
No, because it's just that's kind of his character, just a secret. But he did pull out the second place, and I was shocked. Like watching the brackets at very beginning and kind of keeping up with the standings and stuff. Like I think it was just insane how he pulled second place out. To be honest, because
I
he
know.
was pretty far down.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, he lost his champion in the Sweet 16 too. Like most people lose their champion, like they're done. But shout out to Justin. He did a phenomenal job in those first two rounds. And hey, a lot of times people win these brackets because of that.
Yeah.
And Computer Jesus, just your brief thoughts on what this finish is?
Well, I mean, like I said, it was kind of crazy, the whole aspect of doing it. But backed by Houston, you couldn't have got this far without it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they got me up here. Like I told you before, it was crazy that you can just be fourth, fifth, whatever, and then you win coming to the top by the end. But
Yeah.
it worked out. It was an exciting run. Hopefully it was for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I was shocked to see your text message. I mean, for you to throw in your brackets with our Lord and Savior. Hey,
Well,
what's
I
your
mean,
thoughts
not
on?
comparing myself in any way. It's hard to go against Jesus on Easter.
But only your ponytail. That's the only comparison.
Well, there's more, but I can't go into that.
Let's say, but Computer Jesus, congratulations not only on your finish, but on a tremendous rise that you had as well going into the Final Four, where you were sort of that fringe. I know you had a lot of people ahead of you. Hazel was ahead of you. Both of the Aggies that we have here on staff were ahead of you, and so
We got two Aggies.
yeah.
Okay.
Future-
one
future
past and one
Aggie.
Oh,
future.
future.
One
Got you.
past
Yeah.
and one future.
Yeah.
And so you rose up the ranks, shot up because of Michigan's effort during this championship run. And then
Yeah.
one other guy that rode Michigan all the way to the mountaintop was our guy, Josh Freezer. Somebody that if y'all are adamant fans of the Protect You podcast, you know who this guy is. He needed everything to go exactly right with Michigan winning it all. His Final Four, some of them didn't make it out of the first round. BYU in the Final Four didn't make it past Texas. But he still had faith in his Wolverines, and he was rewarded for it as Josh Freezer goes from, I believe he was 7th
Yeah.
heading into the Final
Or
Four
was he 15? Oh, yeah.
to winning
Yeah.
the whole darn thing.
Are you sure he wasn't 15?
No, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
so it was
he
7.
was-
No, you're
because-
right.
because
Yeah,
we talked about him last
That's
week
right.
as a potential winner.
shot. Well, here's the deal. I mean, to add to your point, Jake, first of all, big shout out to Josh. Love what he does. He's our sports attorney here, right? On staff and does a phenomenal job of reading all of our guys' contracts, right? I mean, he has found Averie some things that some universities tried to get over, right? And in turn, I think that's why Florida was like, you know what? I'm going to intentionally lose in the second round to mess up your brackets, Josh, because you messed up some of our contracts. However, the fact that he has a Final Four, a team that lost in the second round. And to your point, somebody lost in the first round, and he still wins the entire thing.
That's the beauty of it.
That is the beauty of March Madness, Jake. The beauty of it. So,
yes, and congratulations,
dude,
congratulations, Josh.
the gold freezer.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we got to get him back on the show.
Oh, we're
going to get him back on the show.
We got to know. First of all, you know what? Bark it down. Let's see if we can get him on next week, because I want him to break down this thing that President Trump is rolling out.
It'll be twofold.
Yeah, and then we can talk about his celebration of being the champion here for Averie's first ever.
Yeah, we need to know how it feels.
Yeah,
to be crowned with the gold. So yeah, I'm just proud of everybody who participated. Having this idea was it was just for fun. But seeing all the participation come out of it was just so cool, and watching the standings every single week after every single game and having everything change all the time was fun. I was up at the top for a while. I was number one the first week or so. So
you were.
I'm gonna take that and hold that dear and close to my heart.
Okay,
It's a little bittersweet not winning, but
yeah,
I'm just grateful for all the participation, everybody kind of jumping in and making fun out of it. We really strive to kind of have that family and community at Protection United. So super excited to do this next year. So we can't wait for, everybody else to join in again and have different brackets and maybe compare to this year as well.
Yes, and it's a strong possibility for some even redemption stories as we look at just one last screenshot here of the overall standings from the 18 brackets that were submitted here. And there it is.
Yeah.
Folks. That is where we all ended up lying. And
look, I mean, I'll tell you this. I figured out why Averie was always ranked in front of Addie. It's because look at the last column. She got 45 correct.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that as a tiebreaker. And I think that's fair to Averie, because although her and Addie finished with 85 overall points, Averie got one more direct win than Addie did, right? So, I am now going to officially say that Averie, you got the participation award along with Hazel, right?
Thank you.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
you're welcome. Both of you get a participation award, and you get recognized on the show, and that's it.
Yeah, and once again, there you see just how many dang brackets were filled out as a part of this, and so congratulations to our top 3 finishers here. And
Well, hold on.
and I also know that I think you and I noticed the same thing here.
Joel, how you gonna put your employee underneath you, bro? Come on, real talk. 45, 45, and 30. So why is Joel in front of Haley?
That's a good question.
H comes before J in the alphabet, right?
And
then in the last name, B comes before S.
Well, and because Joel is at the bottom of the brackets basically since Miami lost.
Yeah.
Oh, after Thursday of opening round, he was last. Dude, come on, man. The B should come in front of that, so that's BS. Joel, I don't know what you did. He went in and manipulated it, because Joel knows how to go in and change stuff.
Yeah, Hallie needs to be first. She needs to be bumped up a little bit.
First? Oh, you mean in front of Joel?
In front of Joel,
Oh,
yeah. Before Joel.
Yeah, because, I mean, what reason do we see?
No, we need to give her some credit.
I'll do some investigating.
She picked a team that at least got to the Elite 8.
I know.
It's great. It's wild.
I don't know.
I don't know how the math breaks out on that. I'll do a little bit of investigating to see just how exactly we ended up with that as the outcome. But once again, thank you all so much for participating, the members of the Protect You staff.
That was fun.
In this inaugural Protect You bracket challenge. It means a lot to see the levels of participation from the very top all the way down to everybody behind the scenes. It truly does mean the most. And once again, Averie, thank you again for bringing this idea for the forefront and for fully integrating it here into the Protect You podcast.
Yeah, I loved it. Can't wait to do it again.
Yes, there's a lot to look forward to with that, and there's a lot to look forward to as we continue to dive just a little bit deeper here in the Protect You podcast, but we will be right back after just this short pause. And that is once again the sponsor of today's episode, Game 1 Looking to elevate your game? At Game One, we come alongside your team to provide custom uniforms, apparel, and equipment built for performance and delivered with unmatched service. Plus, our online team and fan stores make it easy for athletes and parents to get custom gear anytime, anywhere. Visit game-one.com today to learn more, because your team deserves the best. Thank you again, Game One, for sponsoring this episode as we look to round things out just a little bit longer here. As Jay, we have a couple of things coming down the chute here, and I think something that maybe some keen-eyed viewers might have
they're
noticed.
going to know. Can we get the closer screen in where it's just me and Jake? I need the, there it is.
Yeah,
That's my favorite. That's my favorite shot. Talking about shots, Jake, I invite you to go play ball with my guys, Forest Gay Ballers, right? Play on Thursdays and Sundays. Fun group, as you can see, right? Very organized.
Yes,
right.
That's my biggest takeaway.
Right. You only sit down no more than one game, right? You know, every game is timed, so that you can't just drag it out and people are sitting forever. They keep a nice flow out there, right? Big shout out to our fearless leader, Eric, right? Eric is our guy that we can definitely count on, right, to make sure it's organized. However, Jake, the one night I don't show up, and you go, dog, you come out with a black eye.
Yep.
What happened, Jake?
So the way it works out is typically I'm put on the fastest and one of the faster guards that are out there. But due to the way that we were matching up against this team, they said, you know what? Hey, Jake, you take Carl for this one. You take Carl for this possession.
Carl's a big man.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Emphasis on the big man.
Yeah.
Well built, got a great frame on him. And so, we switch off for one possession. I'm down there on Carl, and shot goes up. My immediate thought is I got to get the board. You know this, and the Forest Gate Ballers know this. I got to get after a board. If a shot goes up, I'm chasing it.
Yep. You are a rebounding machine.
Carl and I both go up for the same board. He eventually comes away with it because it's just a little bit farther out of my reach.
Yeah.
He comes up with it.
Yeah.
And my thought is he's trying to come down and sweep across to face up against the basket.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't usually expect somebody to be right up there on him going after the same rebound. And so he swipes down, and that left elbow just connects square underneath my eye.
Oh, no.
Trust me, Jay, it felt significantly worse than it looked. I thought he did some serious damage to my lower eyelid.
Okay.
I thought he did some serious damage.
Look here. Like, Carl, I'm looking in this camera at you, dog. I put it in the group chat. You didn't respond. I need your address to your job so I can come bust up one of your colleagues. An eye for an eye, Carl. An eye for an eye. Jake, I'm sorry that happened, man.
Hey, it is what it is. And you know what, Jay? What really matters is that we won the next 5 games after the fact.
I like that. Competing. All right. So you didn't quit.
No, we did not.
You played with the black eye.
I said I can still see, so I'm gonna get after it.
Okay. Well, let's just say, Carl, I'm coming for you, big dog. Watch your knees. Watch your kneecaps. I might even send Averie. With Scarmardo being the last name, like I've already told her, that sounds like somebody that would go collect debts. Like, I think that if she looked at her history, she would find like one of her uncles. It sounds like that Italian blood.
The Scarmardo
family. You know, I feel like that back in the 60s, she's got somebody in her family that used to go bust kneecaps. I'm going to find that person, Carl, and I'm coming for you for hurting my dog, Jake Wilson.
Yes, and it does create a little bit of an awkward step here because, like we said, over Easter weekend, I do explain to every single one of my family members how I got a black eye, because first time that I've ever gotten one.
Wow.
In all my years of playing, I've had some other injuries from playing football and from playing basketball, but I've never gotten the black eye before. And so I had to explain that to him of just how exactly that came about of, just playing pickup basketball and, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, but it does make things a little awkward here, obviously, on the podcast, because we got to stay clean. We got to stay fresh here for the beautiful people at home. But then also, we got to stay fresh and we got to stay clean for a lot of the events that we go to here because it's all about presentation, as they say here. And Jay, I'll toss it over to you here because we do have a great opportunity here as we end off this episode to go out and to do a little bit more of that community building here in the Houston area of Texas.
Yeah, bro. Super pumped about tonight. We have another seminar, right? New partnership we have with Klein Collins High School, and we're getting to go educate tonight, Jake. Not only just the youth, right, but as well as the parents. This thing has grown humongously, right? I mean, we're gonna have the rising freshmen all the way to the rising senior class, right? You know, in the building along with their parents. And it's going to be fun. I mean, this thing started out to where it was going to be just kind of where the booster club meets, and then it grew to where it's going to be in the gym. And now this thing is in the huge auditorium, right? Because they've gotten so much response and so much, excitement, built out. Obviously I'm going to make sure we give those congratulations, face to face while we're there tonight. But, big shout out, right, to Coach Mitchell, head coach, athletic director at Klein College, as well as, Mr. Cunningham, right, the president of the Booster Club. But, I mean, it's going to be fun, man. And, you and I, of course, are going to be there presenting, but Chase King's going to be in the building talking about recruiting. Averie Scarmardo will be there to talk about the importance of social media and the management of it. And, of course, Madison Lamb, right? The one that wants to stay behind the scenes, but our amazing executive assistant, my executive assistant, throw that out there. However, she does handle and run the administrative team, and she'll be there to help people get signed up, and they want to get their free consultation done and come, see what Protection United is about and see if we can help them with their recruiting. But it's going to be fun. Jay, you and I got a great script. Big shout out to Ashley, right? Or our COO, of creating and taking everything we had in our brain and putting it on our slides.
Yes, you guys are really special talent for that, of making things come across looking very clean, very professional, because that's what we're all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Clean professionalism.
Clean professionalism, So I'm excited. I already got my outfit picked out. I already know what shoes I'm going to wear. I'm breaking out shoes for the first time. I haven't worn them. Been saving it for a special occasion, Jake. So
hey, good stuff.
Excited, man. And when you see me with slacks on,
that's how we know it's serious.
Right. And so Chase is going to get to see the top all the way to the bottom, not just the waist up.
Yes, but once again, thank you again, Klein Collins, for allowing us to come out there and to be the educational piece here to hopefully build and continue to foster the connections that we've had with that great Tiger program. It really does mean a lot, and we're very looking forward to it. But with that, folks, that does it for today's episode of the Protect You podcast. We hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did making it. If you like what you saw, be sure to follow us here and subscribe on the Protection United YouTube channel, and make sure that you ring the bell so you get notified every single time we go live and every single time we post our great shorts. Thank you all so much for watching. A special shout out to the Coleman family, as I know y'all have been watching and y'all have been commenting on today's live stream. If you would like to leave a comment or would like to say something on the live stream, be sure to head on over to our YouTube channel, where the live stream is monitored by our guy, Computer Jesus. But that does it for this week's episode. I am Jake Wilson, as always, with Jay Mickens. Justin Woods was our excellent producer, and we hope to catch you all on the next one.